Hey everybody, what's up? Tim Charron here.
This guy rocked under.
Welcome to my YouTube diary.
Customer's experience.
I'm going to be updating you on everything that's been going on. I'm going to tell you the story of how I became friends with the Latin Superstar singer Chayanne. And I'm going to show you this beautiful shot of the beach. All right, so I'm here in Deerfield Beach. All right, so part of the diary to update you, we have moved our Florida place from Highland Beach to right here in Deerfield Beach. Absolutely loving it. It reminds me of my South Beach days. I used to live in Miami Beach for many years. I owned a couple of properties on Ocean Drive, 345 Ocean Drive, right in the ocean, beautiful ocean views. And the thing that I love most about Miami Beach is the walkability. You can live there and never have to get in a car if you don't want to, and you can just walk to bars, restaurants, coffee shops, of course the beach. For me, beach volleyball is my main sport, and I absolutely love it. I learned to play in Miami Beach, and here in Deerfield Beach they have great beach volleyball. You know, they have real, real courts. And this morning, it's a Sunday morning. I set my alarm for 6 a.m. I very slowly get caffeinated enough to come out here, and I just walk, and it's a few hundred yards. It's literally a minute and a half walk from the new place over here to the beach. And just for life stuff, we decided to because I'm splitting my time between Florida and Nashville, and now part of the plan is also, because of all the acting stuff that's taking off, I'm going to be splitting my time also in California, in Los Angeles. So we decided to really downsize. Also with the economy and inflation, we decided to go from a much bigger place to a much smaller place, but at the same time, the old real estate saying is so true. Location is what matters in real estate and in life. So we decided to downsize to a small place, but in a much more fun and better, more active and healthy location. Deerfield Beach for us is perfect because we literally want to be on the beach as much as we possibly can and be as active as possible, and it's so easy to do that here. So check it out. There's a bunch of volleyball courts, and it's easy to just get out and go bike riding. There's great neighborhoods to ride bikes, that are safe to ride, and there's the pier, and there's bars and restaurants right on the beach. I mean, this is the best little beach town we've found in a long time, so check out Deerfield Beach. So anywho, but that is part of the plan, because acting is taking off so much. Just in the past, month and a half, I've done a lot of cool work that I'm really excited about. Shot a lot of commercials, shot a film in Chicago, and then that leads me right back to this past week and a half. So it was very cool to get the role in the sorry, it's early. Whew, I need some more coffee. It was I was very excited to get the role in the TV commercial for the Latin Superstar Chayanne, who I had heard of. He's been he's had an amazingly long career, like 30 years or something, really incredible. So, but just to go into the kind of music business tips, music business advice, and acting business advice part of this, I'll explain what I did and how it's really been cool and fun for me, because I've been able to kind of blend the two together, the music business and the acting business. So of course I've been, a musician most of my life, professionally for about 15 years. And so for this commercial in particular, it's going to be, it's for Univision and I forget the other network, but it's going to be all Latin America, and it's a holiday commercial. So for the audition, they sent it's a Christmas song in Spanish. So I have been studying Spanish for half my life. Relatively proficient, intermediate, but I also sing in Spanish. And so for the audition, they sent this song, and they were looking for people to be, play in the commercial, Cheyanne's backing band. So, we're supposed to basically just kind of lip sync to the track. I mean, that's the gig. But what I did was I kind of geeked out, and my point of this part of the story is to, whatever you're doing, if you're really trying to go for it, don't be, I try to be excited about putting in extra work, because these are things that I've always wanted to do, being in the music business and being in the entertainment, acting, TV, film business. So I just grab onto stuff, and I try to, put a lot of work and attention and focus into it. So they wanted us to lip sync along as a band member to this holiday song in Spanish. So, I pulled it up. I asked one of my musicians, that I hire, but are also friends of mine, Mr. Rhett Gordon. I asked him if he could send me the chords for the song. I sent it to him. And then I kind of transcribed the chords of the song on guitar to bass, because I'm also been playing bass, using the Nashville number system, which is incredibly exciting. And then, so I learned all this stuff. I kind of charted it all out, and I started practicing it. So my point is, they were asking for the talent to audition by taking the track and just lip syncing and playing, pretending to play guitar or whatever their instrument was, and lip syncing. But I took it a few steps further. I played acoustic guitar and sang the chorus in Spanish, and just played it and sang it like any other song. So that was part of my audition. Then I took my electric guitar, I played along to the track, the full track, on electric guitar, not plugged in, and I sang along live to the chorus with the track running. And then I did 3 parts. Then I took the bass, plugged that in so that you could hear it, and played the bass along to the track and sang live to the chorus. So needless to say, I'm glad I did all of that, because I'm sure that helped me then make a decision like, oh yeah, this guy would be good for this commercial. So I practiced the shit out of it, made sure that I was super prepared. I mean, I'm always just very interested in being overly prepared. And people, ask me sometimes, like, how do you have confidence? And confidence is really just being over prepared. And in my in my experience, being overly prepared, the only time I'm not confident is when I'm going into a situation where I have to do something or perform and I'm not sure of what I'm doing. I'm not sure if I can handle or execute the task. So if you, especially in performing or acting, singing, playing drums, whatever it is, if you over prepare and you rehearse, I mean, there's not much that you can't fix with rehearsing ahead of time, if that makes any sense. There's not much that you can't overcome or, I mean, like, I can't imagine going into a situation where, say, I was hired to play bass for a band or an artist, and I just didn't know the songs and I didn't study the songs. So think about this. You're going into shoot a commercial with Cheyenne, and did you learn the song? There's a huge difference between just going in there and if you don't know the song, if you didn't study the song, if you didn't write out the song, if you didn't memorize the lyrics, if you didn't, you know what I mean? Even if you're not singing like live because they're playing the track, but during the shooting you're singing along, everybody was singing along. But if you're sitting there fumbling and trying to think, oh my God, like what are the words? What are the words? You're gonna feel like a dum-dum, and that's going to translate to having no confidence. So I hope that helps. Just be over-prepared for everything that you do, whether it's the audition or the actual performance. Be over-prepared. So they flew me up to Boston, and I get there, and this is kind of a cautionary tale also. There were, I was the only musician, real musician, professional musician, I think, on the set. There was like 6. I think there was actually 1 professional singer, backup singer. And I just believe, like, even if you're lip syncing everything, why not? And this is, okay, so this is a very important point, okay? I'm gonna pause before I tell you this very important point. Actually, I'll tell you it, then I'll show you the view. Okay, you ready? We convince with our presence. Okay? Here's the view. So we convince with our presence, and what do I mean exactly by that? So, I studied the hell out of this, whatever it was, 45 seconds long song, 1 minute long song, whatever it was. I studied the hell out of it. I learned all the chords on the guitar. I learned all the lyrics in Spanish. I sang it a billion times. I studied it on the plane ride up to Boston to shoot the commercial. I wrote it out. I wrote out the chords. I wrote out the Nashville number system, and then I transposed it to bass, and I played it over and over on bass. So when I walked in to do the wardrobe and the fitting, I walk in with not arrogance, but extreme confidence. And I don't have to say anything. You just, like, when you walk into a room and it's something that you're overly prepared for, you feel more confident. So when I say we convince with our presence, just the way you carry yourself and the way you walk in the room and the way you navigate, people are going to believe in you without you even uttering a word, or they're not going to believe in you. And confidence is 90% of the game, right? And 90% of confidence is being over-prepared. So 90% of confidence is being over-prepared. And then 90% of the whole total game of doing pretty much anything is confidence. Boom. So when you walk into a room and you're over-prepared, people know it. When you walk into a room and you're confident, people can smell it. On the other hand, when you are not prepared and you don't really know what you're doing, and you walk into a room and you are not confident, people smell it and they see it. So anywho, so when I walked into the room for the wardrobe and the fitting and to meet the clients and to meet the production crew and everybody who hired me, I felt great because I was very prepared to do what they were paying me to do. I don't know. It just seems simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. So, let me know, if you guys know Chayanne, the singer, and so let me paint the picture. So, we're up in Boston, this huge studio, and this awesome set that they have all set up for this holiday commercial. We're there for a few hours, so it was like 6 musicians on the set, and then they had four kids that were kind of like a little choir, and beautiful set, awesome crew. It was awesome. The cast was awesome. So we're rehearsing. Then finally, Chayanne comes in, and we're standing behind him on the set. He walks in, sits down on the stool, to start setting up his shot. And he turns to me and he goes, "Hey, which one of you are in the music business?" So I said, "I am." So we just start talking. He just starts asking me, about what I do in the music business and everything. And we have a lot of mutual friends. So we just started talking about, Kike Santander, Rudy Perez, Camilo Volandia, all these mutual friends that we have. And so Cheyenne's asking me about my music and what I play. And then he was like, "Hey, and this is right at the beginning of the commercial, like right when he walks in. And he's like, "Hey, I'd like to invite you as my personal guest to my concert. I'm on a world tour. I have a concert at TD Garden in Boston Wednesday night." We were shooting on a Monday. "And I'd like to invite you." So he's like, get my brother's number, and he was like, "Oh, I'd like to invite you so I can introduce you to my musical director, band leader." So, of course, super excited, and then we start shooting the commercial, and it was a really fun shoot. And at one point, Chayanne asked the director if I could come up and play bass and sing with him, at the front of the set, front of the stage, so to speak, the front of the set. So it was really cool, fun shot, me and Chayanne singing the song together, kind of like into the same microphone and with each other and to each other. It was really freaking cool. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing. And in the process, when I found out that it was Chayanne, I didn't really have any of his music. So I went and I downloaded a bunch of his music and listened to it, on the plane ride up, and the whole time I was up there, to just kind of get a feel for what he does and who he is as an artist and a musician and stuff. And I love Latin music. I love music in Spanish. I do like a lot of the the romantica music, so it was great, so now I've got a new artist to listen to. So I extended my trip because he invited me. And then, so anyway, so I sang with him on the set, and hopefully You know, as you know, if you're in the acting business, you do all these shots, you know, for hours, and they do, you know, they do your close-ups, they do your individual shots, and then of course you're just kind of hoping and praying that you get some good quality airtime on the commercial or whatever it is that you're shooting. So I hope I get some good airtime, but it was just a super positive, fun shoot, and of course, you know, Chayanne was just an incredibly warm and gracious to everybody. He was so great. He was like, he was directing the kids, you know, and having them sing along. They did like a little choir part near the end, and he was like directing them, like, oh, dance like this. And he's like a famous dancer as well. So he was like, went around and started dancing with everybody and did all these individual shots. So it was super awesome. I love working with, you know, these people that are way up there in the music business or acting business and learning from them. You know, like I worked with Bret Michaels from Poison so many times, and people like Charlie Daniels. I worked with him so many times, and I opened for Dustin Lynch, and people like that. I just try to sit back and watch what they do, how they navigate, how they treat people, because they're those three examples, Charlie Daniels, Bret Michaels of Poison, and Dustin Lynch, they treat people, everybody, absolutely amazing. They make you feel like you're the rock star, and I think that's part of the key to their incredible success. And I just want to try to emulate those things. And I want to try to tell you guys all these stories so that you can try to emulate that as well. Don't try to emulate me, try to emulate them. You know, these are things that you should try to be you know, I'm trying to be a student of the game, and watch the people that are doing it the right way, and then watch the people that I think are doing it the wrong way, and, you know, take those things and be like, okay, I need to avoid doing that. I need to not do that. I need to, you know, follow the people that are doing what I feel are doing it the right way. So Bret Michaels of Poison, of course, Chayanne, Charlie Daniels, Willie Nelson, and Dustin Lynch are some of the examples of the people that I really look up to and want to emulate their professionalism and just how they treat people. Also Bono, I got the chance, I should do a whole video series on all these stories, but I got a chance to hang out with Bono in New York City, and Michael Stipe, so I was friends with Michael Stipe because I was his personal trainer for a while. And but Bono in particular was just so great with me and just everybody. Like, he makes you feel like you're important, and it's just amazing to watch, and I just want to be that way myself. So anywho, look at the ocean. Okay, so this is more of the fun part. I mean, it's been quite an amazing adventure. So I'm up in Boston, we shoot the commercial, it goes amazingly. I become fast friends with Chayanne on the set, you know, just talking about music and mutual friends and all that stuff. It's always good to have mutual friends with people. So, you know, the more, this is one, I guess, overlooked part of networking. Networking, the power of networking is, you know, developing this network where you know all these people, especially obviously people high up in the business that you're in. Then when you meet someone and you have mutual friends, it's like shorthand. All of a sudden you're friends because you have mutual friends. Like, oh, hey, do you know so-and-so? Do you know Kike Santander? Do you know Jose Miguel Velasquez? Do you know Rudy Perez? And they're like, oh yeah, I worked with this person, you know, and then it's like shorthand for friendship right away. Boop. So we shoot everything. So I'm up in Boston, and I was staying staying at a hotel up in Boston, but I had them fly me into Providence so I could stay with my family. before and after. So it was like planes, trains, and automobiles. So I'm up in Boston. I had my dad's car. So I was like, all right, let me stay an extra couple of days so I can go to this concert to hang out with Cheyenne. And so I drive back to my dad's place because I had his car, stay in my dad's RV at his place, at his house, but he has the RV outside. Then had to coordinate all this stuff, which is fun for me, doing all the logistics. So I invited Smidge to come up, see the concert, and be my guest as Cheyenne's guest. So then what did I do? So we figured out, okay, I'm in Providence, Coventry, Rhode Island. I need to get back to Boston to go to the show. So we had Smidge fly directly to Boston. Then she Ubered we got a hotel. She Ubered to the hotel. So I had my dad bring me to the train station in Providence, which was fun. Just taking the train from Providence to Boston. That was cool, the Amtrak. And then I Ubered to the hotel, met Smidge, and then we go to the concert, and then we flew out of Boston the next day. So I had to get a whole new plane ticket and all that stuff, but it was totally worth it. So then, yeah, we went to the Cheyenne concert. It was sold out at TD Garden. So that's what, 30,000 people. I mean, it was, and he's an incredible performer. He's a really great singer. And I don't know how this guy, I mean, he's in great shape. He looks amazing. He's 58 years old. And if you know him or you look him up, he's a super handsome guy. And an amazing dancer. And this guy, for however long, 2 hours, was dancing his ass off and singing his ass off and sweating his ass off. And he sang so great. And I couldn't believe like how was he not losing his breath. But it was amazing. I mean, big, huge show and super fun. And he's a great performer. And those are things, again, student of the game. I just sit there and marvel and take mental notes of all the things, from the production, from the lighting, from the sound, from the stage setup to the performance, to everything, to the moves, everything. I'm like, oh, maybe I could try to implement that in my show. Maybe I could try to do that. So there you go. There's my story of becoming friends with Cheyenne and shooting a really cool Christmas commercial. And the song is Feliz Navidad para Todo, and it is for Farbella, I believe it's called. It's a big, huge department store in South America, in Latin America, I should say. And so make sure you look for it, and let me know if you get to see it. And hey, puppy dog! Look at the puppy dog. And do me a favor, drop a comment. So here's the deal. I'm building my YouTube channel, and if you are enjoying it, or even if you're not enjoying it, drop me a comment and say, Tim, your YouTube channel sucks. Because the more you comment, good or bad, the better it is for the algorithm, and it pushes it out to more people. And I want to help as many actors and singers and musicians as I possibly can, and hopefully these little stories can help. And again, so try to do what I'm doing and just kind of do the same thing and listen to my goofy stories. And if there's one little thing that resonates with you that you can implement, then take it and try it. And then, do that with everybody. Do that with all the videos that you watch and all the people that are, giving music business and acting business tips. And then watch your favorite actors or performers or musicians and see what they're doing right, and try to use that, in your own career, in your own life. And so, of course, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you, share with everybody you've ever met in your whole life, even your neighbors. And check out timcharron.com for all of my info, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.